Welcome back to Falkert Figures, where today I'm going to be unboxing my second ever order from RWG, the Retro Wrestling Grader.
I love it when a plan comes together.
So this one's quite an interesting one. Not an order that I actually planned to make. It's just a small order, but the reason that I placed this order is because RWG were running a promotion where if you were a returning customer, so if you weren't just placing your first order with the company, if you're placing your second or third or fourth or fifth order, they would give you, in the month of September, if you ordered in the month of September, as a returning customer, they would give you a free graded figure, a free graded WWF Hasbro figure. Now what I mean by that is that's not like they would grade one of your figures for free. They would literally give you a figure that they have graded for free, a loose figure, I should have said. And it also said in the promotional material about this offer that it would be a guaranteed 90 grade, so a gold standard 90 grade. And that was my motivation really, because obviously I'd placed my previous order with RWG, and then I saw this advert or this promotion on their Facebook page, and I thought that sounds worth it anyway. I mean, getting one of your figures graded and getting a free figure out of it, that sounds like a great deal. So I looked to see what I had in the cupboard, and I actually pulled out a figure that's not Hasbro. Usually I get WWF Hasbro figures graded if I'm going down the wrestling route, but it's not Hasbro, and it's a figure that I actually contacted UKG in the past about grading, and they told me to, because there wasn't an option on their website to grade it or anything from the line that it's in, and they told me to come back to them with measurements of the card and the buckle and stuff, and then they would add it to their website or let me know what the process would be, which I did. I measured it and took pictures and stuff, sent the information through, and then UKG just kind of ghosted me after that. They didn't reply to my email. I sent a follow-up email saying, did you get this? Didn't get a reply to that. Obviously that's a kind of volume of traffic thing, I would think, with them. I think when you're just asking about one figure, it's probably, UKG have probably got bigger fish to fry. I mean, this was a while ago. This was well over a year ago, before any of the pandemic issues hit, and UKG were under much more stress as a business. But yeah, so they kind of let me down on that front, UKG, I suppose. They didn't come back to me, didn't let me know how to grade it. So it's been sitting in my cupboard ever since. And as I kind of highlighted in the last video with RWG, most, if not all, wrestling figure lines are listed on the website with a drop-down menu of every figure in the line, and you just choose which one you want graded. So the one I got graded was obviously in there. I mean, that's not really a criticism of UKG, because RWG can do that because they're only wrestling figures, whereas UKG grade everything, so they couldn't possibly have a drop-down menu and an option for every single figure from every single line from all time. You know, that would just be ridiculous. So I mean, that's not really a criticism of UKG, but you know, I could have had this graded well over a year ago by UKG if they just had replied to my email. But nonetheless, I've got it graded now, and it's got me a free figure. So I'm going to crack open and have a look. I should maybe also say, I've not unboxed it, I've not opened it yet to take any packaging away or anything, because it is just a small order. There should just be the two figures in. So I will open the box and have a look inside on camera. But one thing I should say is, I mentioned about the box that the RWG used in my last video, because I think I was kind of critical of UKG, saying that they had recycled their box and it was a Hoover box, but in the last time I ordered from them. But then RWG sent me what looked like a brand new plain manila box with their branding on it. That's not the case this time, and it's I mean, it's clearly a reused box, and I think quite hilariously, it's a box that's been sent to somebody else before, and I know the person. I've taken my address label off because I didn't want that to appear on camera, but I know the person that this box has been addressed to previously. So I assume that what's happened is the person who has bought this has, like, this is them buying a figure or buying something online, and then they've used the same box to send it to RWG, and then RWG have sent a box that's now come back to me, because I know the guy who his name is on the box, and I won't name him, I won't show his address or anything, but one thing I would say is that based on who this box has previously been used for, there has probably been a very high-end figure in this box at one point, a WWF Hasbro figure, because this is a guy who is fairly heavily involved in the pre-production side of the Hasbro figure line. He's got a few green tags, like pre-production samples, and yeah, he's got some nice stuff that I know for a fact RWG have recently graded. So yeah, I think it's quite funny that when I took my address label off, his address was underneath. So that kind of made me smile a bit. So let's try and get this open. I'm not too sure how this box is constructed exactly. I think maybe, yeah, there you go. Because the tape, it's kind of taped funny, but there you go. It's a lid that slides open. So, right, first of all, that's a case, a protective case that I sent my figure in. So always nice to get that back. And to be fair, both companies do that, UKG and RWG send you the protectors back. So that's good. But I don't know which is which in here. I think this one might be the figure that I sent away. Yeah, I think it is. So I'll go for that one first. So, now interestingly, this doesn't actually have the insert that my Hasbro's had in the last order, with all the kind of archive footage stuff, information stuff, and it's just an open face, so not much of a surprise. But here is the figure I got graded, and it is a Just Toys Bendham Sonny figure. So almost like an honorary Hasbro, because these figures plugged the gap after Hasbro's went off the market, and well, there were no wrestling figures for a couple of years before Jakks took over the license. And this was the closest thing we had to it. I mean, they're not really figures. They're more, I don't know, like, they're just like little cheap, no, the Bendhams, they do exactly what they says in the tin, you know, they bend. But they're not really like action figures, I would say. But Sonny is one of the kind of, the characters that you kind of needed. Towards the end of the Hasbro line, she was fairly heavily involved in like the storylines with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, that kind of stuff. She was somebody that you wanted in your fig fay. But you never got her in the Hasbro line. You never got any females in the Hasbro line. So, but this Sonny, even though the Bendhams weren't up to much as a line, the Sonny from the Bendhams I thought was quite a good fit. She kind of fitted with the Hasbros quite well. Like her build, her physique, her size was kind of in scale with the Hasbros. So she's quite a good addition. But as I say, I've had her on card for a while. She's been sitting in the cupboard just kind of gathering dust. So let's have a look and see what grade she got. Now, this is a different protective case than the last time, because the protective case last time was kind of really loose and it wasn't really a protective case, but this one feels quite thick and quite durable. So I'm going to take her out of this, although I might just keep her in that actually for display. But Sonny, oof, that is a low grade. Sonny's got a 75 grade. So she's graded 80 bubble, 75. I wonder if there's is that bubble cracked somewhere? I didn't think it was, but 80 card I thought was about fair enough, because it's got a little kind of dent at the top where someone has peeled a price sticker off. Wasn't me. It's later when I got it. So I wasn't expecting a high grade for the card, but 75 for the bubble and 90 for the figure, and that's brought the overall grade down to 75, sorry. Yeah, there must be something up with the bubble. I think there must be a crack or a split in that somewhere that I didn't know about. But I mean, that's fair enough. I didn't, this is not like a valuable figure. It's not something that like one of my prized possessions or anything like that. It's just something that it was in the cupboard. I saw the offer about getting your free graded Hasbro, and I thought, well, why not send that away? UKG didn't take me up on the offer when I inquired a year or so ago, so why not use it now? So not overly disappointed that it's got a low grade, but I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be a higher grade than that. But if I can get that back, I quite like this wallet that's coming though. I'll go that way. Then I think I'll put it back to front, but I'll fix that later. So yeah, so this is more or less why I placed this order. They're giving you the free figures, free loose Hasbro figure with I think with a bio card was what they say in the case. Now, I asked about this just because I thought this seems a bit kind of too good to be true sort of thing. And I asked about it, I said, what's the story here? And to be fair, they came back to me straight away and said, yeah, so why we're doing this is we've got a new supplier for loose figures, like a case supplier, so an acrylic case supplier for loose figure cases, and we've had a couple of issues with them. So this is almost like a test run. They're sending them out for free to people who are returning customers to see if they survive the journey. So they want you to report back. The specific issue they said was the little rods that hold the figure in place inside the case are coming loose, and they're not staying. So before they actually use them commercially and start charging people money for them, they want to do a couple of test runs, and this is it. So we'll see. I don't know which figure I've got. I don't know if it's a rare one or if it's a common one or anything. And again, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a 90 grade. I'm sure they said they would all be 90 grades, but I'll double check that. And this is Honky Tonk Man. This is HTM. Honky Tonk Man with accessory. So that's a good result, I think, because you've got a Hasbro with an accessory. And as you can see, the bio card is in there. So now, they said about the rods, they said it's the rods that are moving, but the rods seem like they're in place, but Honky's moving about a fair bit. I mean, Honky's not really staying. Maybe that rod has moved though. Maybe that one's too high up, because it seems like that's why he's loose. But it is a 90 grade. I'll take this tape off a little bit. See if I can just show that. So yeah, it is a 90, a gold grade 90. See, he's moving around a lot in that case. Can you see that label? There you go. Straight 90s, is it? Yeah, 90 figure, 90 paint. So that, I mean, that's a decent result. The only issue with that for me is that it's not one I need. I was hoping that they would send me a Lucy that I didn't have yet in my collection, because I like to, if you follow the channel, you know that I like to unbox my loose figures. So the figures I have in my loose figure collection, with one or two exceptions, are all figures that I've unboxed. But this, I wouldn't have minded having a gold grade loose figure. I may have had to have cracked it out the case to have it in my loose figure collection, but the fact it's graded 90 gold would be fine with me. That would constitute, I mean, taking it off the card. I'll be happy with that. But I do have Honky. I've got Honky Tonk Man. So I was hoping for one that I didn't have, and obviously haven't been lucky enough to get one like that. But nonetheless, I think that's decent for free. To get that for free, that's pretty decent. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorry, those plastic wallets that were in were just causing all sorts of grief when I was trying to stand them up, so I had to take them out. But yeah, so I've got a gold grade Honky Tonk Man Hasbro Series 2 loose figure. I think, do you know, looking at it now, yeah, I think that rod has moved. That's probably why he's not as secure as he should be. I better feed that back to them. And then my 75 grade Sonny Bendham, which is disappointing grade, but as I say, it's not anything I was heavily invested in or anything like that. And but I don't know, if I'd known it was going to be 75, I probably wouldn't have bothered. Yeah, anyway, so that's that for this video. I do have another UK graders order that's due back any week now, which probably means it's going to be about 3 months yet. But yeah, that video should be coming up pretty soon, hopefully. And that is a WWF Hasbro and Playmates Ninja Turtles with some really good figures from both lines in that order. So keep your eyes peeled for that one coming out in the video. If you want to see that and other videos like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, leave me a comment, drop me a like, share the videos through social media, or social media even. Stay safe, and we'll speak soon.